So, week 2, the Seahawks unfortunately lost week 1. This is probably going to be a shorter video because it's the 49ers and there's probably not too much in depth to really go into, if really any in depth at all. I'll just tell you right off the bat, I see the Seahawks winning the game. I don't think the 49ers are going to score any more than 10 points. At 10 points at the very most. I mean, you saw the way the Seahawks defense played against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and that was on the road, although defense always travels. This is going to be the home opener against a division rival. The 49ers, who are just not great at all. Brian Hoyer as their quarterback. It's hard for me to even imagine the 49ers getting to 10 points, but if they do get to 10 points, I don't think they score any more than that. So, big things for this game. The offensive line was trash, to say the very least, in week 1. Just absolutely awful. I don't think there's actually even a good thing I saw with the offensive line. And I'm not just saying that. If you guys saw something good, leave it in the comment section down below. I think the offensive line was absolutely trash in week 1. And I said this in my recap video. At what point do we start looking at the teacher? And what I mean by that is the coach, Tom Cable. Because as great as everyone says he is, top 3 coach or top 3 offensive line coach in the league, top 5 offensive line coach in the league. The offensive line has never been that great with him in Seattle. And I know, before anyone comments, I get the fact that Seattle has never given him great talent necessarily to work with. He had Max Unger and he had Russell Okung, and I guess really ever since the Seahawks traded out Max Unger and got Jimmy Graham in return, the offensive line, that's kind of when the offensive line really went downhill. And I understand that we don't have the best of talent on the offensive line, but still, it's almost like, at what point do you start looking at the teacher? Because I feel like even if you don't have the greatest of talent, just like the way the offensive line played last game, it's like, what the, what's going on here? So, offensive line needs to play better. Really, it does. It's the Seattle Seahawks will not go very far in the playoffs, let alone make a Super Bowl, let alone win a Super Bowl with the way that offensive line is playing. Your defense can be as great as whatever, right? They held the Packers to 17 points. But if the offense can't score at least 2 touchdowns and get a field goal to at least have 17, or 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals to at least win the game, if the defense does its part and the offense doesn't do its part, then it doesn't matter how great your defense plays. And in order for the offense to do its part, they have the weapons. All right, Tyler Lockett, Paul Richardson, Jimmy Graham, Doug Baldwin. Thomas Rawls is back this week. Eddie Lacy looked not too great week 1. I liked what I saw out of Carson. Get the running game going this week, especially against the 49ers defense. I don't think it should be that hard. Hopefully we correct a lot of things that need correcting from week 2. And I understand that if it wasn't for some of the calls or whatever, it might have been a different game, but it doesn't matter at this point. Week 1's done. The Seahawks lost the game in Green Bay. So you move on. This is a must-win game. We all know the stats. It's any team that starts off 0-2 has like an 80%, 85% chance of missing the playoffs. I know the Seahawks started off 0-2 a few years ago and finished 10-6 and made the playoffs, but that's an outlier. I wouldn't necessarily look at outliers as great statistics. So, like I said, I think the Seahawks win this game. I don't think there's really much chance that the Niners even have in this game, but I would just my biggest problem with this offensive line right now is I feel like Russell Wilson's really entering his prime years, and we all see what Russell Wilson can do when he has time to throw. And I'm not saying he needs 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, but just at least 2, because it's as soon as the ball is snapped, it's just right up the middle, right in his face, or right around the edges. It's can we give him at least 2, just some time to breathe, so he can at least think about who he wants to throw it to, because if the Seahawks don't get the offensive line fixed, they're going to waste Russell Wilson's prime years. Because as I was saying before, I just cut off my own thought, we all seen how great Russell Wilson can play when he gets time to throw. Really, we have. I mean, look at the end of the 2015 season when the offensive line, it's the offensive line was playing really well that year, and that was the season that Russell Wilson just went off and it had a great year. And last season, I know he was plagued with injuries, so when the offensive line wasn't as good, he couldn't work his magic and run around like he usually does. And we don't want him being injured again. So hopefully the offensive line get its stuff together. I want to see Jimmy Graham utilized more. I just want to see some better play calling offensively. Get the run game going. Just, I don't know. That's the reason I'm just not personally a big fan of Darrell Bevell. I just feel like his play calling is not that great. There are times where I'm like, oh my God, that's a great thing. But other times where I'm just like, what are you doing? But hopefully they fix everything. Like I said, I think the Seahawks win this game. They're gonna be 1-1 by the end of this Sunday, and if they're not, then we have a problem on our hands. But they'll be 1-1 at the end of Sunday. Football's back, and it just feels great. We have a game tonight, the Cincinnati Bengals and Houston Texans. That should be a fun game to watch. Both teams lost their first week, so both teams are really, wanting to win this game. It feels nice to have football back, and it's gonna be great watching the Seahawks this weekend, especially at their stadium. I'm gonna hear the noise and everything, and I hope they win big this game. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. What do you think the score is gonna be? And let me know what you guys thought of the Seahawks Week 1 performance against the Packers. I'll let you know what I think. So I want to hear some of your guys' thoughts. Anyway, thank you all for watching the video, and go Hawks.